Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's wife is showing zero remorse. Let's begin. 5 months after D-Day, posted by Reddit user Genital Bells.
D-Day was early September. I discovered wife on security cameras bringing a pee into our bedroom. We have a 5-year-old son. We were together for 12 years and married for 6. I made all the mistakes. Begged, pleaded, and cried. 2 weeks she stayed in the house going back and forth between wanting to work it out and then more discovery of her contacting AP. Finally, she moved out to be with AP and I served her with a separation agreement. She got angry about it and countered with her own attorney to go straight for the divorce. She has an enabling family, which is probably why she is the way she is. I've learned a ton from this sub and implemented it. Been no contact for at least 2 weeks. I should have started sooner, except to talk about our kid. We have joint custody and she is being a good parent, but she has introduced the AP to our son. Nothing I can do about it, says the lawyer. She is going to get half of my $401k, half of the house. I have to explain to my son why we have to move out of the only home he's known. She is telling everyone that she is leaving an abusive relationship, but a lot of our mutual friends see through her BS. She is telling our son that we both ended the marriage. I know when he is old enough he will be able to see the truth. I will never lie to him. But until the divorce is finalized, I don't want to risk being accused of alienation. I have PTSD from the discovery of them in our bed. Luckily, I have had a lot of good support from friends and family. Got therapy and meds for nightmares and Lexapro to help me get over this hump. Walking for 30 minutes twice a day. I've made way more progress than I ever thought I would at 2 months out, but still a long way to go. So far, she has not engaged in any cake-eating behavior except for the first couple of weeks. I think this is an exit affair. We did have problems in the marriage. She said she felt unloved and like I never wanted to go places with her. She delivered the "I've been hurting a long time" line. She shows zero remorse or empathy during the whole ordeal. I wanted desperately to believe that she was in limerence, but I know now that it doesn't really matter if she is or not. Cheating is black and white and I can never trust her again. It feels like such a tragedy, but it's true. I'm 42 and I can't imagine finding another relationship at my age and with a kid and a cheating co-parent that I have to stay in contact with. Update. It's been over 5 months since cheating wife moved out to be with AP. Divorce will be finalized within the week. 50-50 custody and I'm keeping the marital house after paying her out. I've been on Lexapro for 2 months, which helped a lot but is starting to lose its effectiveness. For about 2 months I have been relatively happy. Going out with friends to mingle on my no-kid nights. No tears mostly, but now the tears are becoming a little more frequent and stronger in intensity. Intrusive thoughts and all that. She has not once shown any sense of remorse or even regret. I guess she's still high on fog chemicals. I shouldn't care, but I do sometimes. I wish she would return to the person I married, but I know it won't happen. I am working on letting go every day, but it is still hard. My 6-year-old has told me on a few occasions how he wishes mom and dad didn't live in separate houses, and that is hard to hear. She brings the AP around him. And honestly, that is the hardest part about all this. Mother of my child is comfortable bringing the man she destroyed our family with a stranger around our child, while simultaneously shouting my son is my #1 priority. I try to remain ignorant of her social life, but people slip up and tell me sometimes. I know she's Facebook official with AP, has taken their relationship public, even though we aren't even divorced yet. I saw a pic of them together on AP's Instagram profile. I was just scrolling and he came up as a suggestion. That was an unpleasant surprise that had me crying for a bit, but I bounced back. I also found out that AP is still married, which had me gut laughing. It makes the cheating seem so much more foolish and immature when they cheat with someone who is already in a relationship and don't have the courage to end it like an adult. I have not tried to reach out to AP's spouse, as from what I hear she lives in another country and no longer speaks to AP. Wonder why. I have to go to her apartment occasionally since we co-parent. I cry almost every time I go over there. I try not to, but the tears just come out. She is completely over it, I guess, because she always seems so confused by my tears. She'll text after I leave, "Are you okay?" As if to say, "Are you still upset about that old cheating business? Get over it. It was a long time ago." She takes no responsibility for her actions. The cheating was just an appropriate response to the issues with our marriage in her mind. People keep warning me about the Hoover, but she has not shown a single hint of cake eating, even with all the serious consequences she is experiencing, including no contact. Still fogged out, I guess. It could happen if their relationship ends, but it doesn't really matter. Even if she wanted to come back, there is no way I could ever trust her again. I just want her to come to her senses for my son at this point. I would like for her to break out of the fog so she can make better decisions for him. She used to be so much different, or at least she acted so much differently. Now I feel like I'm dropping my kid off with a spoiled 36-year-old teenager. All in all, things are getting better. Instead of crying all day every day, I'll go a whole week with no tears. My relationship with my son is blossoming. I used to be so angry all the time when she was still living with us. Now that she is gone, life at home is so much more peaceful. I can't remember the last time I got frustrated with him. I remember blaming myself all the time for our marriage issues, and she would never take any responsibility for any of it. It was always my temper, my neglect of her needs, my wanting to play video games. I admit those things are real problems, but she never took responsibility for her own mistakes and deflected and gaslit me constantly. Now it's dawning on me just how much of the marital issues were her immaturity and inability to self-reflect or admit fault. She was defensive and cruelly critical and contemptuous those last few weeks leading up to D-Day. I'm making emotional progress, but it is definitely a journey. There are still thoughts that weigh heavily on my mind and heart about my son and how all of this shit is going to damage him and how much garbage she is going to fill his head with. She is already lying to him about the circumstances surrounding our split. Me and Daddy both ended the marriage. I'm confident when he grows up he will see through her lies. And if he asks, I'll tell him the truth.
OP, you have got to stop talking to her, man. You have to co-parent, sure, but it's only about the child. No personal communications. Make it a matter of fact. Use texts or emails or other means of communication otherwise. Don't subject yourself to this unnecessarily. The thing is, OP, she saw you cry. She sees you as weak and she thinks she can control you. She won't realize that she has truly lost you until you finally act like she doesn't mean shit to you, even if you have to pretend. But at least you're trying your best to move on step by step. OP, I would check the court documents. A lot of the time, you're not supposed to bring a new person around the kid without the consent of the other parent for a while. I'm not sure about this, that's why I'm asking you to check. And one final thing, OP, please tell your kid what's happening now. It will help him heal and see through her lies. If you fail to do this right now, your son may end up hating you due to all of the lies your ex is putting in his head. OP, don't wait any longer. Tell your son that his mother is a lying, cheating asshole. Well, not in those exact words, but you get what I mean. And now for today's second story. Our new friend isn't happily married. Posted by Reddit user Office Lady Student.
I want to preface this by saying that I don't think my husband did anything wrong. Last May, we reconnected with some friends we hadn't seen for a long time due to COVID. This friend had his birthday party at a local bar, and we met new friends of our friends that we had not previously been introduced to. My husband and I are very social creatures, so it's normal for us to be off doing our own socializing at events with friends. My husband is an avid cook and it's probably his biggest hobby. It's how he connects to other people. So at this party, he made friends with a new couple. Let's call them John and Alexis. I noticed that the friendship seemed to be mainly between Alexis and my husband, as they both love to cook. Hindsight is always 20/20, but I can say with 100% certainty that something felt off about this situation from the beginning. I am not a jealous person. I'm very much so of the belief that if you can steal my man, he was never mine to begin with. My husband and I have been together since 2013 and have been married since 2021. We are about to start trying for our first child. Now, even though something felt off from the start, I trust my husband. It's Alexis that I don't trust. It also happens that Alexis and John live within walking distance of another couple we are very close with. So we spent this past summer rotating between houses for hosting cookouts. We spent a lot of time at John and Alexis' place because they have a pool and 3 needy dogs, so it makes the most sense for us to be there. And during all of this, I keep feeling less relieved, not more relieved. I tried to become closer to Alexis. I joined her kickball league, but noticed even more that it seemed like she was interested in my husband. I also thought Alexis was older than me, as I am the baby of the friend group and Alexis looks much older than me and is stepmom to John's 16-year-old. I found out Alexis is my age. Again, this unnerves me, but I am not threatened by Alexis. I just think something is up. She is also very disconnected from her husband, John. So my husband and Alexis text each other. It's all about food stuff, but I recall giving him a hard time about it a few times. If she would text him, I would joke that his girlfriend was messaging him. He always shrugged it off. Fast forward to December. We are back at the same original friends from May's house to meet their new baby. Alexis was texting me the night before and said her and John would be there. We get there and it's just Alexis, no John. I ask her where he is and she gets really weird and puts her ringless hand up to show me her wedding band is off. My eyes just widen and she quickly says, "Yeah, I'm not going to get into right now. I don't really know where John is, but I don't want to make today about me and my problems. We're here to meet the new baby." Not going to lie, I was very off-put by this. If she really didn't want to steal the spotlight, there are probably better ways to do it other than flashing us all her removed wedding band. I thought that maybe Alexis is just the type to be dramatic when her and her husband argue. You know, the couple that breaks up all the time. Christmas was the next week. And weirdly enough, after that display from Alexis, the texting with my husband came to an immediate stop. We all plan lunch and get the full story out of her. Turns out, her and John have been on the rocks for 3 years. 2 years of marriage counseling, and they've known they're headed to divorce for a while. But it finally became final. She tells us that John is leaving within the next week. Obviously, this is a lot to take in, but I can't help but feel deceived. This woman was cozying up to my husband knowing full well that her marriage was over, all while presenting to me and him as a happily married woman. I don't know how to articulate these feelings, but I feel duped. Pretty sure my husband is oblivious to her having romantic feelings for him. Am I crazy for feeling some sort of way about this?
OP, please talk to your husband. He may not be as oblivious as you believe. Look man, this is where you prioritize your marriage over a toxic friend group dynamic. I'd rather seem like a jealous wife for drawing appropriate boundaries than end up getting cheated on for trying to seem like the cool and fun wife. Good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.